What's up? What's up? Straight to the point, sports and entertainment. I want you to hit the like button. Go ahead and sub to the channel if you're not a member of the channel. And also hit the notifications so every time a video gets dropped, you will be notified. Let's talk about Dak Prescott right now. Let's talk about Dak. Everybody's the Cowboys. Everybody wants to talk about the Cowboys. And y'all gotta excuse me. It's cold out here, and it's still pretty dark, and it's snowing where I'm at. So y'all bear with me with the screen and everything, also, because it's still pretty dark, still pretty early in the morning. As you know, the Green Bay Packers, they defeated the Dallas Cowboys. It wasn't a game where you could say Dallas gave it their all at all. It wasn't a game where you could say it was two hard-fought teams. It wasn't a struggle, wasn't a line of scrimmage game. It wasn't any of those things. It was pretty much a massacre, to say the least. And now we all know, going into the offseason, what's going to be expected. I think many people know that Mike McCarthy is going to be gone. Now, I'll say this about Mike McCarthy, all right? He actually improved from last season in terms of a lot of his coaching decisions, because I know that last season Mike McCarthy was awful. Kellen Moore was out of there, and Mike McCarthy was awful, especially when it came to his decision making. When it came to third down, and some other coaching decisions that a lot of people did not necessarily agree with, as well as the players too. But I think what other people are looking at, and fans, not just casual, but I'm talking about actual fans of the game, and not necessarily either fanatics either, because a lot of people tend to get in their emotions. I had people call me and say, "Oh yeah, Dak gotta go, Dak gotta go." They automatically just jump and start reaching for Dak to be gone, which is understandable. He played the quarterback position. The quarterback position holds a lot of responsibility, and unfortunately, when you lose, they look in that direction a lot of times. I don't really necessarily always look in that direction of the quarterback right offhand, because I also have to look at, okay, how did the defense play? Well, first I'll look at what's up with the coaching. Okay, then I'll go into, okay, is defense doing their job well enough for offense to go ahead and go? It's got to be an equal balance, where the defense, they handle what needs to be handled or whatever, get offense out there. Offense does what they need to do on their drives. If they're going to ground and pound it and use the running game a lot, then it's going to be they're going to use up the clock. But if they're going to play like a high octane offense where they're throwing the ball a lot, then 9 times out of 10, then they might come off the field pretty quickly. depending on whether or not, they were able to get that, move the chain. But do I think Dak Prescott should go? In my opinion, I don't think that Dak should go. Now, because this is what people have to understand. That the Cowboys were playing shorthanded pretty much the entire season. Let's start with the offensive line, okay? And I want to make people clear that a lot of you that know me, some of the brothers that's from Texas, they know that I'm not a Cowboys fan, and some of y'all that do football with me on this channel, some of the guys in the LDBC, some of the LDBC brothers, they know that I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I appreciate football, and I appreciate some of the players. Now, Dak was playing short-handed throughout the whole entire season. They did not have. They were constantly going through a situation where they were always having to deal with a subpar offensive line because they were injured. Then on top of that, Michael Parsons, who a lot of people don't know, he was dealing with I think a couple of injuries, but he was still playing. But the biggest non-factor, in my opinion, was Vander Esch. Vander Esch, he was horrible. This season. He was a non-factor. Then they lost Trayvon Diggs. That was a big loss. That was a big loss for the Cowboys. A lot of people got to understand that what Diggs brought to the table, right? You lost him. He's a Pro Bowler. Now, okay, Bland, he stepped it up this year. He got the record, which was a great thing. He made history, did something that nobody was able to do, DeJuan Bland. And then you had Cook, who was able to be that reliable receiver, especially when it came to the red zone and goal line. If CeeDee Lamb was not able to get the ball, or being covered or tight coverage, or if he just wasn't able to catch the ball or whatnot. But CeeDee Lamb I was hard on CeeDee Lamb in the beginning, especially when Amari Cooper had left. I said that CeeDee Lamb did not fit a receiver, that main receiver in my eyes. But he changed my perspective on things. He was able to do some things this season where I thought were pretty remarkable. And he really improved. He wasn't dropping the ball nearly as much, because he was amongst leaders in drop balls at one point, especially when he began his career. But you couple that and you take all that into consideration, Dak was still able to have a great season. He was I don't know if it's changed or not, but I think his QBR was at somewhere around the lines of, but I think it was at 98 or like 102 or something like that. But he was amongst the, he was a he had a high QBR, and we were talking about him being MVP up until Lamar Jackson had just went on a tear, winning winning several straight, you know, and that's what we have to understand. He was the MVP candidate, you know. The 49ers game, in my opinion, was a terrible game for Dak. He had always struggled with the 49ers. Everybody wants to talk about, yeah, Green Bay, but nobody's mentioning the 49ers and how Fred Warner had Dak's number, pretty much. You know, he had Dak's number. I mean, it was like, that's Dak's kryptonite, you know. But I don't think Dak should go because they were talking about paying him. That's why I posed that question when during the game. This was before the game had even ended. This was I think around halftime. But I don't think Dak should go. I think he should stay. Dak dealt with a gruesome injury, and he was able to come back. It took him a little time to get through the swing of things, and he was able to rebound back and come back and get back to playing the football that he was used to playing, despite being shorthanded and despite having a coach that was awful. You know, so that you heard it from me. I don't think Dak should go now. If he has all of his pieces and they would have lost, then yeah, then we got to make a change. But I think it's unfair to him because he dealt with so much. And I know some people are gonna be like, hey, tough shit. Hey, he's the quarterback. You got to be able to will and deal. They're gonna bring up Tom Brady did this and Tom Brady did that. Man, look, man. Those are two completely different players. But Dak is still great in his own way, and Dak he is a future. If Dak is able to get the Cowboys, I would say to like at least an NFC championship or higher, he'll be a Hall of Famer. Yeah, he'll be a Hall of Famer. But hey, that's just how I feel. Y'all let me know in the comment section how you feel. Like I said, this is a matter of my opinion from what I see from the outside looking in, and what I've also when I've looked at him play and when I've looked at the Cowboys play. But hey, you might look at the game a little bit different from me, and I'm not mad at that. So make sure y'all like the video, share it, sub to the channel if you're not a member, and I'll be talking with y'all later.